Hello, and welcome to this quick tutorial on how to name ionic compounds and also how to write ionic compound formulas. If you guys have not already seen my website, there you can find more videos on how to name or write formulas for different types of compounds, and as well you can find this identical video and the rules directly underneath if you cannot see it in this video. So without further ado, let's get started. When writing ionic compounds, you always have a cation, which is a positively charged ion, and an anion, which is a negatively charged ion. In this example, we have NaCl. Na, which is sodium, is a positively charged ion, and Cl, which is chlorine, is an anion, a negatively charged ion. The first step to writing the ionic compound name is to write the cation's name first. So Na, since we know sodium is the positively charged ion or element, it will be named first. So sodium, and we know that Cl, chlorine, is the anion, negatively charged ion, will be written second, and we're just going to write its name without any modifications. Chlorine. The next step is to change the anion suffix to IDE without changing the cation. So, simple enough. Sodium remains the same. Chlorine, its suffix, so its ending, of INE changes to IDE. So, chloride. And the third step is just a small indicator to remember that when writing the name for ionic compounds, they are always lowercase unless it's at the beginning of a sentence. So step 3, this capital S becomes a lowercase s, and this capital C becomes a lowercase c, unless of course you are using it in the beginning of a sentence as mentioned. So this becomes sodium chloride. And that's it. This is the ionic compound name of NaCl. Alright, so this is the second part of the video to teach how to write ionic compound formulas. So previously we just wrote how to write its name, so now we're going to be working backwards. So firstly, to write the ionic compound formula, we need to indicate the elements that are in each compound, and we need to identify the cation and the anion. So we know that magnesium, the positively charged cation, and sulfide, which is negatively charged, the anion. So that is the first step. No need for writing, just a little bit of a clarification. The second step is to write the formula of the compound according to the cation first and the anion second, similarly when writing the name for ionic compounds. So the first step we already finished. The second step is so cation first and anion second. So the symbol for magnesium is Mg, and the symbol for sulfide, is S. And because it is sulfide instead of sulfur, we know that because when naming, the suffix for the anion is changed to IDE. So if we look on our periodic table, for the next step, which is very important, we know that magnesium has a charge of +2, and we know that sulfur has a charge of -2. So the third step is to write the charges of each element as a superscript, so above the element. So the third step is we're going to write it as a superscript. So magnesium with a charge of +2, sulfur with a charge of -2. Hope you can see that. That completes the third step. The fourth step is to crisscross the charges of each of the element to the other to become a subscript, so below the element. Subscript and superscript, which are opposites, up top and bottom. So The fourth step is to crisscross the charges. So we're going to take this 2, we're going to crisscross it over to here, crisscross that one over to there, so it becomes Mg2 and S2. And the fifth step, which is the last step for writing ionic compound formulas, is to simplify the charges. And we can see that right now magnesium has 2, and sulfur also has 2. So in this case, these 2's can both cancel each other out, and the final product, and the final answer, can be magnesium sulfide. And that is the answer, or the ionic compound formula, for the name magnesium sulfide.